Hello traders, welcome to the Wednesday trade recap plus forecast. As we said, we will most probably be skipping Mondays if the Monday is not active. If there is a lot of opportunities, of course, I will do a Monday forecast also. So I will be focusing on the Wednesday and the Friday trade forecast plus recap. Just to get all of the data and all of the information from the weekend, just to make it a bit more interesting. We're starting with the Euro and the US dollar. So for me, I did not have an order on anywhere here. Nothing really fit my plan. Nothing really showed me a direction, and it was just very stagnant, very range-bound price action currently. So maybe some people were spotting a descending structure right here. For me, this is not a descending. This is just a corrective descending or a corrective channel. So I'm not really looking for a reversal here, but I'm seeing start for a bit of a momentum, so a bit of a potential for a push up, and I will be looking for a break and retest trade, or I will be looking for a potentially small flag here. Again, not sure about the small flag, but what I would really like to see is a nice break and retest continuation to the upside. That is definitely on my radar, or potentially a larger push, and then I would definitely look for that flag. This can also give us a V reversal range and then a push to the downside with a flag or any sort of an entry pattern. We will see how this will play out. So I'm really not seeing anything. Today is Wednesday. Wednesdays we can be a bit more lenient with the setups. Usually we can expect some nice moves. You know the drill. But basically right here I'm being a lot more patient. Only thing that I'm seeing potential in is this one impulse. So rest of the price action is looking very, very crappy, in my opinion, of course. Euro and the Japanese yen. For this one, actually, there were two opportunities to enter on a trade. So the first one was right here, this flag. I was definitely looking at this flag. It had some things going for it. First, the V and the range. You can see what happens once we get the V and the range. I know I always blabber on about it, but it does work out in most cases. You can see we got a push up, pull back, and pushed up again. So I was definitely expecting this to continue trending to the upside. And then this flag did form. So if you would have entered, I know a lot of traders did enter this trade with a 12 pip stop loss, of course. You would have, unfortunately, I believe you would have been taken out for a loss with the next candle. I did not enter this trade. So a couple of reasons. First one, well, it was, what was it, Monday, right? Tuesday. Okay, it was Tuesday. Mondays and Tuesdays, I'm a bit more patient. Most of the trades actually fail on a Monday or a Tuesday. Then we had two warning signs. So we had this slowing down of momentum on the top of the impulse, which is definitely a warning sign when you're looking for a flag. And on the Euro Japanese yen, also a warning sign. You can see it was just barely breaking and leaving wicks, which does signal to us an ascending channel on the higher time frames. So I know that we define as an ascending or a descending channel with some sort of a, let's say, breaking with wicks and actually pulling back a bit. But this is also an ascending channel on the lower time frames. So if you take a look at it, this can definitely be counted as an ascending channel. It is barely breaking. It is definitely showing us weakness to the upside. What we don't want to see is basically a warning sign. And then second warning sign for me was the stop loss was looking pretty small. So for a break and retest trade, I'm really not concerned about the stop loss size because usually it just takes us in, goes maybe 2 or 3 pips into drawdown, and it either takes us out or it reverses. So for a break and retest, I'm not that really careful with the stop loss, but for a flag trade, I'm definitely looking at the stop loss size. For me, this is just a bit of a small stop loss when you combine all of the other factors. So now we have 3 warning signs. First one, it was Tuesday. Second one, slowing down of momentum. Third one, stop loss was too small. What I would have liked is that the stop loss was potentially this big. Then I would have potentially entered this trade. But because you combined all of the 3 warning signs, it kind of trumps the prior price action, which was looking okay, high probability to go up. But again, we have to take in all of the factors and make a decision with the good price action and the warning signs weighed up for me too many warning signs for the beginning of the week, and I stayed out, so saved myself a 1% loss on this trade. Then another trade did form, so let's just go right here. So some traders were definitely looking at this ascending structure right here, and they were looking to get in on this reversal. So their order was right here with a 12 pip stop loss. For me, again, I did not take this trade. So again, a couple of warning signs for me. First one, beginning of the week, Tuesday. Tuesday, mostly we get range bound price action. The only thing going for this trade for me personally was this ascending at the top. So there was no smaller ascending with a larger ascending on the bigger scale. It was just this one ascending structure. And then another warning sign was that we left a wick right here. So if this closed with a clean close, I would have considered taking this trade, but because it kind of wicked a bit, I was just wanting to be a bit more patient. And another thing is we broke the high here, retraced, we broke the low, and the next candle can easily just retrace, signaling to us range bound price action. What do we expect on a Monday or a Tuesday? We expect range bound price action. So that is the exact reason why I want to be careful at the beginning of the week. So I was definitely more patient because of all of the warning signs I just told you. The biggest one I have to say was that we broke the high retrace, broke the low retrace, and left the wick right here. So I did not take this trade. This would have ended up being a loss trade. First, you would have been in some nice profit, but then I believe you would have been taken out for a loss. So right here. Yeah. So it was an okay trade for me, kind of on the edge, but still not enough to take it. And I saved myself another 1%. So very good, followed my plan. Very happy with how this situation played out. But once it was in profit, I was definitely having some FOMO and yeah, fear of missing out. And I wanted, looking back at it, I did think that it was a potentially good trade that I missed. But that is when your emotions play with you. So you have to control your emotions. Of course, I did not enter anywhere here. I always follow my plan. I always enter at the exact entry area. But yeah, now looking back at it when the emotions have settled, this definitely did not fit my plan. So let's move on. Emotions can be definitely a big impact on you. And you need to be in tune with your emotions. They act as signals when something is going good or when something is going bad. And you have a hole in either your technical skills or your psychology. Now this is starting to push up a bit. Not really much momentum, but I am looking for something like this. Always looking at something like this. And I am seeing if we continue up more and get a flag to buy. Of course, this can also shoot to the downside like this. We get a range, push down, and then we look to sell somewhere around here. So we look for an exact setup like this one, a V, a range, and then to get in somewhere on this impulse. Of course, the entry needs to fit our plan. It needs to be clean, always on the back of our minds. Aussie US dollar, no trade for me here. So we did get a nice push down, but look how it ended. We got an aggressive retrace. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles going up. Definitely a momentum shift and definitely creating us a smaller V reversal. So for this one, I'm seeing a descending structure. Let's see if this descending will continue a bit more. Again, I had no order on. I was not interested in any sort of a trade. Nothing showed me potential. I think you can see this too. So I'm seeing a descending and I'm looking to see if we get a reversal trade like this one. Then, of course, we will enter right here. So, of course, looking for a push up from here, large flag, or a push down, break and retest, or a flag. Classic stuff, but overall, this looks descending. I'm expecting for this to reverse to the upside. Aussie JPY really stuck in a sideways range. You can see no potential here, just stuck in this box. Just identify a sideways larger range. As a trend trader, this is your worst nightmare. You don't want to be trading in this sort of conditions. It is a good sign that the potentially market makers are building up their orders. Potentially a trend up or trend down will start. But currently, this is, as I said, our worst nightmare, and we definitely want to be a lot more patient right here. We're looking for a large impulse to the upside or a large impulse to the downside for the price to move away from this box of messy, crappy price action. You can see just V reversals everywhere, another V here, a V here, and then just ranging around. I'm expecting more of a range. Simple stuff, let's get away from it. Nothing interesting there. The pound, I was in a trade right here and it turned out to be a 1% loss. Unfortunately, so 15 pip stop loss. It was running in some very nice profit, but then news came out, took me out for a 1% loss. That's what happens. I did not get to reduce my risk because we did not break the most recent high. News took me out. We don't look at news. This happens. It's part of the plan, part of the strategy, part of the game. Everything is normal. Very good trade. Looking back at it, very happy that I took it. Fit my plan 100%. Would take it again. So no point in going over it. You can see the last trade forecast and recap to see exactly why I was in this. And yeah, these trades usually work out. So the strike rate is around 40 to 50%. So we expect losses also. Again, what happened then? No potential. I didn't have an order on anywhere here. Very crappy, messy price action, just ranging around, push down, descends, pushes up, and just nothing for me to see here. No potential setup and nothing really interests me. Let's see how this will develop. So potentially if we get more of a push up, I will look for a break and retest like this, or more of a push up, I will look for a flag, because we did create a smaller descending right about here. So I'm looking to see if this will potentially start trending to the upside again. No guarantee, but we shall see. What I don't like about this current move is this momentum shift right here. Usually when we get this sort of a momentum shift before an impulse candle, these setups usually fail. So this is a big warning sign for me, this small momentum shift. But because of this descending, I'm expecting for the price to push up, potentially give us a trend to the upside. Of course, we can also drop. Then I will look for a flag or a break and retest further down. You know the story for the pound. I need to see a large momentum before I look for any sort of a trade. I need to see a large impulse up or a large impulse down. NJ, New Zealand Japanese yen. This one was stuck between, so no potential for me here. Same as AJ, really range bound, stuck in this box. I mean, we're trying to push out of this level to the upside. We just broke into it, retraced, so you can take that as you want, but for me this is still very range bound, and I'm being very careful. You can see the price action is pretty crappy. We gapped here, loads of V reversals, just pushing down, pushing up, pushing down, pushing up, and loads of wicks. Check out the wicks, loads of wicks here, small wicks, big wicks, large wicks, just loads of wicks. This is an indication of a crappy price action. What we want to be here is we want to be patient. This was the most recent high. This was the most recent low, of course. This was a counter trend candle. So we broke out of it right here, broke out of the high. And as I said, we retraced. So I am seeing if this will continue up. Then I will look for a break and retest, or I will look for a flag further up. I need to see large momentum. If this drops down, I will be a lot more patient, because I believe we will just be stuck in a range. Just look at this price action. It's looking very crappy. But it's normal for December, to be honest. Usually November, December, a bit slower, a bit more range-bound price action, because everything is kind of winding down. The banks are going to sleep. Bankers are going to vacation, Christmas, holidays, New Year, stuff like that. We're waiting for Q1. Q1 is usually pretty good. So we will see what happens in Q1. Good luck with your trading. See you guys on Friday. Let's see if we get some moves or the market will still be asleep. Nothing is really showing me any potential, but things can switch in a second, 3 or 4 hours. price can start trending up, start trending down, we get a setup. So in about 6 hours, the whole market condition can change. That's why we need to be alert, we need to be patient, and we need to be on our toes. That's it. See you guys in the next forecast.